Nation. There's also a story on 1.3 billion Kenyan shillings windfall for Donald Kipkorir in win over the City Hall. That is, City lawyer Donald Kipkorir is set to receive 1.3 billion Kenyan shillings from Nairobi County government as payment for his legal services in 2 court cases. That is on page 3 of the Daily Nation. And lastly, on politics, we have a story on that is in page 4 of the Daily Nation on ODM will face Ruto in 2027, says Raila. Mr. Odinga, who recently entered into a pact with President Ruto, says his party will challenge the incumbent in the next elections. And also share your views regarding the same, that is ODM facing Ruto in 2027. And moving on, another story that has been highlighted on the Standard this morning, that is citizens rise up against Trump. That is on the World News page 23. And also on the sports page, so close yet so far for Brave Sevens team. That is on the sports page 32. So continue interacting with us. Share your views regarding the same. That is the stories that have been on our publication this morning, the top stories, as well as remember, we were the top story on the Daily Nation. That is state jobs for those with godfathers. I've asked you, do you actually think that this is true? And people who are actually able to acquire state jobs are people who have connections inside. Yeah, so share your views regarding the same. And back to that top story, that is betraying the youth, jobs for those with godfathers. Who do you know politicians have been dishing out jobs in the public service as well as in state corporations? KRA's hiring of revenue agents was revoked after over 53% of slots went to 2 communities. So Gerald Congo Wamaitha felt like he had the whole world at his feet, and he had he's 25 years old, and he had graduated with a bachelor's degree in education in 2015 at the Kenyatta University. He had also specialized in mathematics and chemistry, and despite being a fresh graduate, Mr. Wamaitha's experience set him apart from most peers, as he had already taught in 4 schools, and both primary and secondary, while pursuing his degree. So the boards of the management of Kahuho Secondary, Uthiru Girls High School, Kioni Primary and Bridge had all given him a chance to teach. And I think this is his story, and also his employment story. And share your views regarding the same. Do you actually think that there are jobs in Kenya, or there are no jobs in Kenya? Is there employment in Kenya, or is the rate of employment higher than the rate of unemployment, or is the rate of unemployment higher than the rate of employment in Kenya? And who do you know? Do you know a politician or somebody in the state jobs who can actually fix you in? And is the job environment in Kenya favorable for people who don't know people, who don't have any kind of connection or not? And something to note is that 20, that is the number of teacher slots each of 11 MPs were given at State House to pass on to their constituencies, according to MP, that is Betty Maina. So share your views regarding the same, regarding the stage of unemployment and employment in the country. And do you actually think you need connections for you to be fixed, especially for a state job? And moving on back to the top story that is on the Daily Nation, that is the budget betrayal. Financial year draws to a close as Kenyans bear more hardships. So budget documents appear to fall short of addressing the harsh financial realities facing Kenyans. And as the debt burden increases, the government is unable to tame wasteful spending. So Kenyans continue to face the same challenges they were dealing with at this time last year, even as the budget-making process nears completion, with the National Treasury now under fire for appearing out of touch with their struggles. And also by the end of this month, Treasury is expected to unveil its spending plans for the upcoming financial year, that is 2025-2026, followed by the Finance Bill 2025, which will outline how it intends to allocate tax revenues and also introduce any new tax measures aimed at boosting revenue for the new fiscal year. And also, so far, budget documents appear to fall short of addressing the harsh financial realities facing Kenyans, with both the proposed measures and the government's action failing to adequately respond to their concerns. And some of the issues are the factors that fueled the anti-government protests last year. And amongst these are the burning issues for many youth and also young Kenyans, unemployment, and also the cost of living. And as Kenyans' debt burden increases, the government is also unable to tame wasteful spending. And also the Parliamentary Budget Office, that is the PBO, raises concerns about the initiatives that the government has put in place to uplift Kenyans. It is also noted that while the budget policy states, that is the BPS, painted a rosy picture of jobs created in the country, the number of new jobs are nowhere. And also the 1.2 million jobs per year promised in the government's fourth medium-term plan of the Vision 2030, which was launched last year, they are nowhere as well. So share your views regarding the same. And do you actually think that the budget, that is the budget for 2026 financial year, is it going to face the same resistance that we saw with the Finance Bill 2024? That is last year, we saw the anti-government protest as well. So share your views regarding the upcoming finance bill, that is Finance Bill 2025. And what are you actually expecting the government will tackle? What are the key issues that you will want the government to tackle in the Finance Bill 2025? What should they touch on? What should they reduce? What should they not reduce? And also still on that, we have small farms brace for economic hit ahead of the budget. That is small and medium enterprises hit by rising costs, slow sales, and also shrinking profit margins. Entrepreneurs also demand tax relief, favorable trade environment to survive amid ongoing economic hardships. So a day's inch closer to the tabling of the national budget, estimates business owners across Kenya are bracing for another wave of economic uncertainty, and also signs of distress in the economic environment are evident, putting entrepreneurs on edge as new budget proposal loom in the wake of last year's tax changes. So share your views regarding the same. And also tell us what you think about also the state of employment and unemployment in the country. And in as much as maybe people cannot get formal jobs or state jobs, do you actually think that the business environment in Kenya is favorable for people to start their own business, for entrepreneurs, for even young people to start their own small businesses and run it? Is it favorable or not? Share your views regarding the same. Remember, our SMS line is on the screen. And also don't forget to tell us your name as well as where you're watching us from. And still on that, that is experts warn new budget will increase taxes and deepen poverty. So without a clear budgeting framework, the government risks running out of funds mid-year. And also the budget policy states the budget, let me take that one again. That is, the budget policy statement does not address the potential impact of donor funding cuts. So experts are warn Kenyans forthcoming 2025-2026 budget risk plunging an additional 2 million citizens into poverty through proposed tax hikes and also subsidy cuts, composing and also compounding existing pressures from 16.5% inflation rate. So cornerstone of Kenya's financial government, let's just look at it at a glance. The Parliamentary Budget Office, that is the PBO, plays a vital role in safeguarding the country's financial integrity and also ensuring fiscal responsibilities. And there's also established in 2007, and under the Public Finance Management Act of 2012, the PBO is a non-partisan professional office within the Parliamentary Service Commission. It's also primarily mandated, its primary mandate is to provide technical expertise and also independent physical analysis to Parliament, enabling informed decision making on budgetary and economic matters. And also the PBO still operates as an independent fiscal institution, strengthening parliamentary oversight over Kenya's budgetary process, and also its key responsibilities encompass several critical areas, and the office conducts budget analysis and forecasts, preparing reports on budget projections, economic forecasts, and also financial risks posed by government policies, which help parliamentary committees scrutinize budget proposals and also monitor economic trends. And it also provides legislative support, that is advising Parliament on bills with economic or financial implications to ensure they align with fiscal responsibility principles and national financial goals. So if you want the full story and also the full cornerstone of Kenyan's financial governance, that is on page 6 of the Standard newspaper, and tell us your views regarding the upcoming Finance Bill 2025. And moving on to the political scene, we have a story on chaos rocks Gachagwa's church meeting in Nairobi. That is on page 5 of the Daily Nation, and also on page 2 of the Standard newspaper. That is, Gachagua accuses IG Kanja of blessing, that is in quote, Mwiki church chaos, faithful scrapped for safety when goons briefly disrupted service at the PCA. So the former deputy president, that is Rigathi Gachagua, has accused the Inspector General of Police, Douglas Kanja, of allowing an attempt to disrupt a church service he was attending at Mwiki in Kasarani, Nairobi County. Mr. Gachagwa's security personnel fired in the air as they battled rowdy youth who tried to storm the PCA church, and also barely an hour after the fundraising event in aid of a construction project, goons stormed the church after breaking the gate, forcing the congregation, including the former deputy president, that is Rigathi Gachagua, to run for cover. And also some of the invaders could be heard shouting, tunataka pesa, wapi pesa yetu. Yeah, so they were saying they want money, and where is their money, as they threw chairs in the air. And also the chaos interrupted the service for more than 30 minutes as helpless church leaders and the congregation watched the unfolding drama in shock. So if you want the full story, you can find it on page 5. And also the former deputy president said that I will not be intimidated. That is what he said after goons actually stormed the church. And gunshots were heard as the ex-deputy president's security dispersed the goons who stormed the church. He also said that President Ruto and Nairobi Governor, that is Sakaja, were behind the attack. So share your views regarding the same and tell us what you think about the drama that unfolded, that is yesterday, in the PCA church in Mwiki, Nairobi County. And something to note is that the former deputy president's vehicles were damaged in the mirror, and also Gachagua blamed President William Ruto and Nairobi Governor, that is Johnson Sakaja, for the attack. He also emphasized that Kenya is a country governed by the rule of law, and the Constitution grants citizens various freedoms, including the right to worship, associate, speak, and move freely. Gachagua also condemned what he described as efforts to curtail their freedoms. So share your views regarding the same and tell us your thoughts about the drama that unfolded, that is on the PCA church yesterday. And still on the political scene, we have a story still on page 2 of the Standard newspaper, that is Kalonzo now tells Ruto to resign over Muturi's corruption claims. So Wiper leader, that is Kalonzo Musyoka, has asked President William Ruto to resign following former Public Service Cabinet Secretary, that is Justin Muturi's claim that he is unfit to be president, and that is what he said actually. And also speaking at Redeemed Gospel Church in Sultan Hamud, Makueni County, Kalonzo said the words of the former Attorney General were weighty since Muturi was once in the president's inner circle. And let me just quote what he said, and I quote, "A former Attorney General put it clearly that the foundation of the country is shaking because of corruption." And of course, Kalonzo said, adding that the Kenyan's economy had put a perilous government, and he also defended Machakos governor, that is Wamvinya Ndeti, over her government's investigations by the Ethnics and Anti-Corruption Commission, that is the EACC, with recent summoning of two officials, that is the Finance CEC, Onesimus Kuyu, and also the Energy Chief Officer, that is Abdi Gulie. And so tell us your views regarding the same. He also took issue with participation of top security officers, including, that is the Inspector General of Police Douglas Kanja, in the president's political rallies. Remember also the LSK, they've called out the Inspector General of Police Douglas Kanja, asking him to apologize or resign because of him participating in a political rally that featured also the president, that is during his tour to the Mount Kenya region. Share your views regarding the same, that is regarding Kalonzo telling the president to resign. And also remember Muturi's allegations and his claim that Ruto is unfit to be president because he's corrupt. So tell us your thoughts regarding the same, and who is actually telling the truth. Is the former CS, that is Justin Muturi, telling the truth? Remember, he was part of the president's inner circle, and now they fell out, and he was also sacked as the cabinet secretary. Are we seeing a repetition like what happened with the deputy president? Is this the same way that Justin Muturi is going or not? Share your views regarding the same. And still on the politics, that is reclimbing mountain. It has emerged that prior to the visit, some areas were mapped out and also marked unfriendly. That is regarding the president's tour, that is last week's tour to the mountain, while Ruto snapped two hostile areas on Mount Kenya tour. Some residents say he should have avoided excuses about bad mood. President William Ruto's recent 6-day tour of Mount Kenya was tactfully planned to avoid heckling, protests, and other ugly incidences. And prior to the visit, it has emerged that some of the areas were mapped out and marked too hostile for the president and were avoided at all costs. And also the president gave a wide berth to some constituencies in Nyeri, Murang'a, Laikipia, and Embu that he was initially to visit, but were flagged as flashpoints. So coming at a time when impeached Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua was gaining a following in the region, nothing was left to chance. So with the strategy being to mobilize friendly crowds to welcome the president. The most conspicuous was Dr. Ruto avoiding Mathira in Nyeri County, a constituency where he garnered 63,715 votes, with pundits suggesting the snub was due to the bad blood between him and Mr. Gachagua. And also remember that Mathira is actually, it's like the bedroom of the former deputy president Rigathi Gachagua. So Mr. Gachagua, who was his lead campaigner in 2022, the presence of MP, that is Eric Wamombi, in Dr. Ruto's entourage on Saturday was equally interesting because he was not allowed to address crowds in Nyeri and Othaya towns, with sources confiding that it was deliberate to avoid humiliation. And this was also after National Assembly Majority Leader, that is Kimani Ichung'wah, who is amongst leaders perceived as sellouts in Mount Kenya, was heckled and forced to cut short his speech in Ol Kalou, Nyandarua County. And also similar scenes were witnessed in Kiambu, where a woman representative, that is Anne Muratha, was heckled. So share your views regarding the same, and also tell us what you think about the president's tour to the mountain, and why didn't he go to Madeira as well, that is in Nyeri County, and he toured Nyeri County. So share your views regarding the same, and also regarding Kimani Ichung'wah as well, who was actually heckled and forced to cut short his speech, as well as the woman representative Anne Muratha as well, who faced the same thing with the crowds. Tell us your views regarding the same. And also, whom did you actually expect to see during the president's touring of Mount Kenya region, and maybe they didn't show up? And whom were you surprised to see them alongside with the president touring the Mount Kenya region? Share your views regarding the same. And still on the political scene regarding the upcoming 2027 elections, that is Raila. He says ODM will challenge Ruto in 2027. The Orange Democratic Movement leader Raila Odinga, who recently entered into a pact with President William Ruto, says his political party will challenge the incumbent during the 2027 general elections. And this is the first time the former Prime Minister is announcing that the Orange Democratic Movement, that is the ODM, will field a presidential candidate against Dr. Ruto, who was his main political rival in 2022 polls. He also previously said that ODM is not in government, and the party only donated experts to the Kenya Kwanza administration to assist Dr. Ruto mobilize the government, and also to stabilize the government as well as the economy. So share your views regarding the same, that is regarding the claims that the ODM leader Raila Odinga is making, that ODM is not in government. And remember, we've seen them having a pact and also a handshake. Do you think this is true? And do you actually think they're going to give out a presidential candidate who is going to compete with Ruto in 2027? And also on Saturday, Mr. Odinga further explained that ODM's agreement with Dr. Ruto is not a betrayal of Kenyans, adding that his decision was for the sake of peace following youth-led anti-government protests. And let me just quote what he said, and I quote, "I did not enter into this wedding with a state to betray Kenyans. Kenya is bigger and more important than any individual. Kenyans must unite and work together, but during electioneering, the ODM will also contest." And of course, that is what Mr. Odinga said during an Eid Baraza in Mombasa County. If you want the full story, you can find it on page 2. So our dear viewers, tell us your views regarding the same. That is regarding the ODM actually bringing a candidate in 2027 to face Mr. Ruto in the 2027 elections. And also remember that the former deputy president, that is Rigathi Gachagua as well, he's set to unveil his party and his political party this coming few months. And we are waiting to see what is going to happen. And also Kalonzo as well, he has said that he has plans to form a bigger coalition. We are also waiting to see what his coalition and who are going to consist in his coalition as well. So do you actually think that Kalonzo Musyoka, that is the Wiper Party leader, and the former deputy president Rigathi Gachagua, they are going to merge and form a bigger coalition? And is ODM in government or in opposition? Share your views regarding the same. And away from that, moving on, we have a story on Echoes of War, that is Court Saves Play from the Chop. That is on page 3 of the Standard newspaper. Art meets activists and activism as Butere Girls High Schools play battle censorship and wins a stage to speak truth to power. And also court orders the principal
Faraja TV, chemichemi ya furaha.
Welcome to Flamingo Auction Center, your trusted destination for safe storage and certified auctions. Here, we prioritize your peace of mind. Our auction center is fully insured, ensuring that your valuable items are in safe hands. With years of experience and industry certifications, we provide a transparent and trustworthy auction experience. Explore our showroom featuring a diverse selection of art, antiques, collectibles, and more, all ready for you to bid on. Join us for exciting live auctions where you can find unique treasures and unbeatable deals. At Flamingo Auction Center, we are not just an auction house, we are a community. Come experience safe, certified and exhilarating auctions with us. Visit us today or check our website to learn more. Flamingo Auction Center, where your treasures find new homes.
Duka letu linang'aa sana, huduma bora kwetu daima. Sambaza upendo kwa wateja, tuna kila kitu kwa bei rahisi. Mabango kibao yanang'asia, maduka yetu yana hadhi ya hali ya juu. Wateja wanacheka huku wanunua. Jamaa Supermarket, mimi na wewe tuko sawa. Duka letu ni bora kila siku, tuna bidhaa nyingi za hakika. Jamaa Supermarket huwezi kosa, huduma zetu ni za kufana. Duka letu ni bora kila siku, tuna bidhaa nyingi za uhakika. Jamaa Supermarket huwezi kosa, huduma zetu ni za kufana. Kwa familia tunatoa bora na bidhaa zote ni za kisasa. Ukiwa na mahitaji tutakupa, duka letu halina mfano, na kukaribisha upate usaidizi. Habari njema zetu zinasikika mbali, kila kona tunakuwepo. Duka letu ni la dhamana. Duka letu ni bora kila siku, tuna bidhaa nyingi za hakika. Jamaa Supermarket huwezi kosa, huduma zetu ni za kufana. Duka letu ni bora kila siku, tuna bidhaa nyingi za hakika. Jamaa Supermarket huwezi kosa, huduma zetu ni za kufana.
Are you a business person or a commercial and industrial company? Well, we have a modern warehouse that is located in the vastly industrial area in the west part of Nakuru County that is designed for industrial and commercial use. It is located along the Nakuru-Eldoret Road and offers easier accessibility to transport and logistics plan, which increases the efficiency of your supply chain. It is also a 5 minutes drive from Nakuru Central Business District. The godown is approximately 110 meters long by 50 meters wide by 21 meters high that houses 3 spacious offices ideal for business people. The warehouse offers a state-of-the-art security and enough power supply for your operations and a good road access via the Tinsales KCC Road. This shows you that it is a place where manufacturers really are opting for because it is out of the congested city and it's a very convenient place and location. For more information, contact us through 0703 33 9959. Do you want to turn your passion into a rewarding career? Enroll for an exciting journey into the beauty industry. Clara School of Cosmetology, the best cosmetology school in Nakuru with modern facilities. We offer courses like hair dressing, makeup and nail technology, massage and body scrubbing, braiding and plating.
Walking through the doors of Clara School of Cosmetology means stepping into a world of endless opportunities. It's not about entering a campus, it's about immersing yourself in an environment where your skills are nurtured. With our cut-edging facilities, we ensure you receive the best education and training. Let's walk this journey together in building a brighter future every day.
For more information, call us on 0707 54 14 08 or email us at claratechnicaltraining@gmail.com or visit our Nakuru campus situated at Section 58 Shopping Center along Oginga Odinga Avenue. Clara School of Cosmetology, nurturing your skills. We offer a guaranteed attachment for our graduating students at Clippers Barber Salon and Spa. The award-winning Barber Salon and Spa. Come get an exquisite and relaxing experience for a perfect haircut, professional makeup, lock installation, facial treatment, hot stone massage from our qualified and professional staff. For more information, call us on 0701 00 6503 or email us at clippersbarbering@gmail.com. Clippers Barber Salon and Spa, the trend setters.
Experto Paints is a company, a Canadian company that majorly deals only with the protection of the houses, producing quality paints for the buildings. We have different kind of textures for finishing products. Okay, for kind of buildings, we have exterior and interior paints, which can be used in different ambience and colors. We have weather guard paints, we have cover mats, vinyl mat, vinyl silk, and textured coated paints. Experto paints come in different ambiances and multiple colors, and it's a good quality. It also protects your wall from fogging and also from molds and the bad smell that come from water perforations from the ground. Now you come and find your wall, the paint chapping, but for Experto paints, it's hard for it to chap off. Welcome to Nakuru Free Area Depot next to JJ Plaza, where we sell you quality paints as Experto paint, color paints, and you are most welcome.
Well, what is lifestyle? To me, lifestyle is the people, it's entertainment, it's food, it's beauty, it's fashion, it's music, and it's art. So how do you get to deal with these big topics that are affecting our society? Well, worry no more, because I, Sharon Gige, every Thursday at 7:30 p.m, I'll be bringing you amazing guests, and they'll be able to give us solutions on how to handle these big and disturbing topics at Faraja TV Kenya and all our social media platforms. Thank you.
Welcome back, our dear viewers, and many thanks for still staying with us. And in case you're just joining us, this is Morning Updates. Remember, you can continue interacting with us. That is on our social media handles. On Facebook, Faraja TV Kenya, YouTube, Faraja TV Media, TikTok, faraja.tv.media, Instagram, Faraja_TV_Kenya. Our SMS line is on the screen. Send in your SMS. Tell us what you think about the state of the nation, as well as the stories that have been on our publication this morning. That is the former deputy president saying eliminating me will complicate your politics. Gachagua accuses Ruto, and also the governor for Nairobi County, that is Johnson Sakaja, for sending goons to church to cause chaos. As well as something to note is on the budget betrayal. Mbadi admits that Kenyan's economy is not on the right path, optimistic about also recovery as well. Remember, we've gone through the budget, and also remember that the Finance Bill 2025 is upcoming in just some few days, and we are waiting to see what is going to entail. And also we are expecting increase in taxes. So this is also something that we are looking forward to see what is going to happen, and also how Kenyans are going to respond to the Finance Bill 2025. Remember that last year's Finance Bill 2024 was rejected by Kenyans, which actually led to the anti-government protests led by the youth. And something else to note is the top story as well on the Daily Nation, which was on jobs, state jobs for those people with godfathers. And remember, we've been asking you, what are your views regarding the state of employment and unemployment in the country? Do you actually think that the rate of employment is higher compared to the rate of unemployment, or is the rate of unemployment in the country higher? And that is regarding official jobs. And also, do you actually think that the economic status in the country actually favors businesses and small businesses, or even for young people to start their own businesses and run businesses? Is the economic climate favorable for them or not? Tell us your views regarding the same. That is on Facebook, Faraja TV Kenya. And also remember, I said our SMS line is on the screen. Send in your SMS and tell us your views regarding the same. And also regarding the ODM actually saying that they are going to compete with President Ruto in the upcoming 2027 election. And who is most likely to be their presidential candidate come 2027? Is Mr. Raila Odinga going to run again in the 2027, or is he going to give way for somebody else, for a new face, a younger blood, or not? Share your views regarding the same. And moving on, there was a tragedy that happened in Kisii. That is 5 dead and 2 injured after a building collapsed in Kisii. At least 5 people have been confirmed dead and 2 others critically injured after a 4-story building under construction collapsed on Sunday morning near Itierio Primary School in Kisii County. And the tragic incident, which occurred along the busy roadside adjacent to the school, left dozens of residents in shock as rescue operations began. The building also came down at approximately, that is 10:30 a.m., trapping several construction workers beneath the rubble. And according to the Kisii County Deputy Governor, that is Elijah Obebo, the county government received the distress call at 10:45 a.m. and immediately deployed the disaster response team and the Kenya Red Cross and heavy machinery to the site. So the scene was marked by frantic rescue efforts, with emergency crews using excavators to actually sift through the concrete debris. If you want the full story, you can find it on page 9. And our condolences goes to the 5 families, the families of the 5 victims who actually lost their lives, and also to the 2 people who have been injured. We wish them quick recovery. And if there's anyone who has been trapped, we hope that they are going to be saved and brought out alive. And moving on, another story is on policeman kills 3 children and takes his own life. That is, authorities believe this was a culmination of an unsolved domestic conflict, and also he had a marital rift where his wife fled home with the children only for the officer to retrieve them. Grief has engulfed Kagoga village in Homa Bay County after a police officer allegedly kills 3 children before taking his own life, reportedly following a domestic dispute with his wife. That is David Okebe, a police constable attached to Marsabit police station, was found dead in his house in Kagoga village, and that is in Rachuonyo West sub-county on Sunday, and he is actually believed to have committed suicide after poisoning the children. The victims were his 6-year-old son, his 5-year-old daughter, and his 5-year-old nephew. That is his in-law's child. And the family's troubles reportedly began some time ago when Okebe had a serious disagreement with his wife. Following the altercation, she fled their matrimonial home and she took the children to her parents' residence. And according to Homa Bay County Police Commander Lawrence, the officer later took his time off from work and traveled to his wife's parental home from where he returned with his 3 children. So if you want the full story, you can find it on page 9. And it's so sad that he killed his 3 children and also he took his own life. And remember also we've been talking about femicide in the country as well. I know this is not a related story to femicide, but we've always been saying that it's somebody close to the victim. It's somebody close to the deceased who actually committed the crime. And moving on, another story is 3 siblings dead, 1 injured in night blaze in Kiamba. That is, sorrow has engulfed Gashie village in Kiamba constituency, Kiambu County, following a tragic fire incident that occurred Saturday night, leaving 3 children, 3 siblings burnt beyond recognition. And also 1 child narrowly escaped death and is currently nursing injuries. And according to area residents, the fire broke out in the dead of night. Despite their efforts to put it out, the flames overwhelmed them. Residents also lamented that the Kiambu County fire engine arrived too late. By the time emergency services reached the scene, the fire had already consumed the entire structure, along with the lives of the 3 innocent children. If you want the full story, you can find it on page 8, and it's so sad. So share your views regarding our top stories and also the stories that are still on our publication this morning. And moving on, that is to the health sector. On the health sector, we have senators' fury over acute blood shortage. The health ministry says at least 2.7 billion Kenyan shillings is needed to fix the problem. That is on blood shortage. And also our senators have launched investigations into persistent blood shortage amid untold suffering by patients in need of transfusion. And the legislature have now actually trained their guns on the Kenya National Blood Transfusion Services, and the development follows acute shortage of the precious commodity, which continues to negatively impact emergency cases and routine medical procedures. So Kenya has long struggled with a chronic blood shortage, with stocks often running dangerously low, forcing critically ill patients to rely on relatives and well-wishers for life-saving donations. So something to note regarding this is that is Kenya requires 500,000 to 1 million units annually, but manages to collect only between 150,000 and 200,000 units. The Senate Health Committee has now been tasked to investigate the current state of transfusion services, including details of available blood banks and laboratory reagents. And the committee, also chaired by our Uasin Gishu Senator, that is Jackson Mandago, is to get to the bottom of reasons behind the persistent blood shortage and the measures being taken by the Ministry of Health and the Kenyan National Blood Transfusion Services to ensure the consistent availability of transfusion services and blood reagents. If you want the full story, you can find it on page 12. And I said, like I've said, stock Kenya requires 500,000 to 1 million units, but it only manages to collect 150,000 to 200,000 units of blood. And also share your views regarding the same. Have you donated blood before? And are you willing to donate it? I think now is the time we can just encourage Kenyans. We should all go and donate blood, because blood shortage is something that is dangerous, especially to the critically ill patients and also emergencies as well. And still on the health sector, we have a story on alarm as a risky teenage sex drives HIV surge, rise in early pregnancies. That is on page 10 of the Standard newspaper. And health experts urge swift action to tackle teenage pregnancies, HIV, and school dropouts. And advocates also call for policy reforms, education, and parental involvement for adolescents. And in numbers, I want us to just look at that. That is according to a situation of adolescents in Kenya 2024 by the National Council for Population and Development. That is 46%. That is around 21.9 million of total population are below the age of 18 years, with those in the ages of 10 to 19 years. And something to note is that 5,947,870, that is the adolescent population, that is between 10 years to 14 years in the country, and also 5,670,020, that is the adolescent population, that is between 15 years to 19 years of age, and also 6, that is the number of adolescents aged 10 to 19 who get infected with HIV every day, 6. And also something to note is that 691, that is the child pregnancies reported in Kenya every day, 691. And also something else to note is that 252,000, that is the girls between 10 and 19 presented at the ANC in the country. And something to note, you can also tell us what is contributing to this thing, to the rise in early teenage pregnancies, to the rise of HIV infections, as well as the rise of school dropouts. Is it about sex education? Is it we lacking when it comes to sex education? Is it not offered too early? Is it offered too late? Or is there completely no sex education in most of these schools or not? So share your views regarding the same. And also something to notice that to address early pregnancies and new HIV infections, sexual gender-based violence, and improved sexual education, the ANCDCC is running triple threat campaign. This initiative brings together key stakeholders, including chiefs, security forces, and the Ministry of Education. And let me just quote what that is Bosire, what he said, and I quote: adolescents are engaging in a lot of unprotected sexual activities. And he also attributed the rise in infection to a lack of knowledge about sexuality. And one key indicator of this is the high rate of HIV infections, and only 54% of adolescents are aware of how to protect themselves from HIV. So tell us what actually Kenya should put in place to curb this problem, or to reduce the number of HIV infections in the country, to reduce the number of early and also teenage pregnancies in the country. Share your views regarding the same on our SMS line, which is on the screen. And also remember, you can continue interacting with us on our socials. Follow us as well on Instagram, that is Faraja TV, Faraja_TV_Kenya. And moving on to another story, that is security officers were from the Kenya Defense Forces, GSU, and the National Police Reservice, that is multi-agency team, repulses Shabab. Militant attempted to ambush the General Service Unit, that is the GSU camp in Basuba Village, Boni Forest, Lamu County, and security agencies say that they repulsed an attempted night ambush by suspected Al-Shabaab militants against the GSU camp at Basuba in Lamu's Boni Forest. And also the suspected terrorists, who had divided themselves into 3 groups, also attempted to raid the Basuba village on Saturday, but were reportedly overpowered by the National Police Reservists. And Basuba village is home to over 300 people, mostly from the Boni community. And like I said, at a glance, that is in security. The GSU site in Basuba village is home to over 300 people, mostly from the Boni community. And also the General Service Unit camp, which was targeted by the militants, is about 50 meters away from the village. And also the entire Boni Forest region is under tight security surveillance, owing to the ongoing multi-agency security operation, Operation Amani Boni, and the operation was launched by the government in September 2015. If you want the full story, you can find it on page 10 of the Daily Nation. and also share your views regarding the same. And another story is 3 admitted to hospital after building collapses. That is still in Kisii County, and I think we tackled that one earlier on. And another story is on the courts is Judiciary Chief Magistrate. The Judiciary Chief Registrar faces jail over compensation case. Judiciary Chief Registrar, that is Winfrida Mokaya, faces a 6-month jail term for disobeying a court order to pay 3 million Kenyan shillings to a judiciary staff member. And James Ngoro received a 3 million Kenyan shillings award in a 2021 for personal injuries he sustained at work, but the judiciary failed to pay him. So the High Court judge, that is Samuel Mohochi, ordered Mokaya to appear in court to explain why she shouldn't be jailed for contempt, and also given appropriate punishment for refusing and failing to comply with the courts. If you want the full story, you can find it on page 11 of the Standard newspaper. And moving on, there's also a story on resettlement plan of coast quarters stalls. President Ruto said the government had set aside 1.5 billion Kenyan shillings to resettle squatters and tasked governors with identifying land. And also Senate Land, Environment and National Resources Committee revealed the state had not availed the funds. So thousands of squatters along the coast face prolonged waits for government resettlement as no funds were allocated for this initiative. And also during a regional tour, President William Ruto stated the government had set aside 1.5 billion Kenyan shillings for the exercise and tasked county governors with identifying land. So the president assigned mining, blue economy and maritime affairs cabinet secretary, that is Hassan Joho, to lead the process. And however, the Senate Land, Environment and National Resources Committee revealed the government had not allocated funds to purchase the land. And committee chairman and Mombasa Senator, that is Mohamed Faki, noted the latest supplementary budget contained no provisions for acquiring squatter settlement land. He also spoke after the committee and National Land Commission, that is the NLC, had petitions from tenants at will and squatters at the Kenya School of Government in Mombasa County seeking regulations of their status. That is on page 11 of the Standard newspaper. And still moving on, there's a story on family exhumes father to fight off land grabbers. That is on page 8 of the Standard newspaper. They claimed the patriarch buried 15 years ago was the only one who could defend them, and also 4 members of the family have been arrested for exhuming a body without court order. So in a bizarre incident, a family in Kamagut, Uasin Gishu County, exhumed the remains of their father who died and was buried in 2010 in protest over an unresolved land tussle. And yesterday, residents of Leseru village awoke to a shocking sight. The body of Noah Tanui had been exhumed by his children, who claimed he was the only one who could defend them from persistent threats by an individual claiming ownership of a 17-acre land farm allegedly inherited from their grandfather. And also, according to Tanui's children, they reached the decision to exhume his body after goons persistently threatened to evict them from the property since 2022. They also stated that they had reported the threats to the authorities, but with no assistance forthcoming, they turned to the man who had always protected them while he was still alive. If you want the full story, you can find it on page 8 of that is the Standard newspaper. And moving on to the world news, that is tens of thousands march in US against Trump's divisive policies. That is, US President sparks outrage with the job cuts, traffic tariffs, and also the trade tariffs and rights rollbacks. And despite backlash, the White House has dismissed the protest. So tens of thousands of protesters flooded the streets of major U.S. cities on Saturday to oppose the divisive policies of President Donald Trump in the largest demonstrations since his return to the White House, and also opponents of the Republican president's policy from government staffing cuts to trade tariffs and eroding civil liberties rallied in Washington, New York, Houston, Florida, Colorado, and Los Angeles, amongst other locations. So in Washington, thousands of demonstrators, many traveling from across the United States, gathered on the National Mall, where dozens of speakers rallied opposition to Trump. If you want the full story, you can find it on page 23. That is on the World News. And moving on, still on the World News, is U.S. cancels South Sudanese visas in ejection row. That is, Washington is revoking all visas for the South Sudanese passport holders and blocking new arrivals. Secretary of State, that is Marco Rubio, said Saturday, complaining the African nation is not accepting its nationals expelled from the United States. And also the State Department, let me just quote what he said, is taking action to revoke all visas held by the South Sudanese passport holders and prevent further issuance to prevent entry. End of quote. That is what Rubio said in a statement. It was the first such measure singling out all passport holders from a particular country since Donald Trump returned to the White House on January 20th, having campaigned on an anti-immigration platform. Also, Rubio accused the transitional government in Juba of taking advantage of the United States, saying that every country must accept the return of its citizens in a timely manner when another country seeks to remove them. So share your views regarding the same, and you can find the full story on page 23. And also in the Middle East, we have a story on Israel admits errors over medics killing in southern Gaza. That is, Israel's army has admitted its soldiers made mistakes over the killing of 15 emergency workers in southern Gaza on March 23rd. And the convoy of Palestinian Red Crescent Society, that is the PRCR, ambulances, a UN car and a fire truck from Gaza's civil defense came under fire near Rafah. So Israel originally claimed troops opened fire because the convoy approached suspiciously in darkness without headlights or flashing lights. It also said that movement of the vehicles had not been previously coordinated or agreed with the army. And also mobile phone footages filmed by one of the paramedics who was killed showed that the vehicles did have lights on as they answered to call to help wounded people. So the Israel Defense Force, that is the IDF, insists that at least 6 of the medics were linked to Hamas, but has so far provided no evidence. It also admits they were unarmed when the soldiers opened fire. So if you want the full story, you can find it on page 23. And our dear viewers, continue interacting with us on our social media handles. Remember, you can catch us on Facebook, that is Faraja TV Kenya, YouTube Faraja TV Media, TikTok faraja.tv.media, Instagram Faraja_TV_Kenya, and also you can catch me on Instagram, that is Emma Bonariri. Our SMS line is on the screen. Keep the conversation going. Share your thoughts regarding the show, as well as the stories that have been on our publication this morning. Tell us your views regarding the upcoming 2027 elections, and also the number of teenage pregnancies that we've seen in the country, and also HIV infections that we are seeing in the country as well. What are some of the ways to curb this? And also share your views regarding the blood shortage, as well as in the political sector. We've seen the former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, who was actually attacked by goons during his meeting yesterday in a church in Mwiki, Nairobi County, and he's now blaming the governor for Nairobi County, that is Johnson Sakaja, as well as the president, that is President William Ruto, for actually sending goons to intimidate him. Share your views regarding the same. Keep the conversation going. Unfortunately, we have come to the end of the show, but remember, you can catch us every Monday to Friday. Let's do this again tomorrow. I have been your host, Emma Bonariri.
Faraja TV, Chemichemi ya Furaha.
Welcome to Flamingo Auction Center, your trusted destination for safe storage and certified auctions. Here, we prioritize your peace of mind. Our auction center is fully insured, ensuring that your valuable items are in safe hands. With years of experience and industry certifications, we provide a transparent and trustworthy auction experience. Explore our showroom featuring a diverse selection of art, antiques, collectibles, and more, all ready for you to bid on. Join us for exciting live auctions where you can find unique treasures and unbeatable deals. At Flamingo Auction Center, we are not just an auction house, we are a community. Come experience safe, certified and exhilarating auctions with us. Visit us today or check our website to learn more. Flamingo Auction Center, where your treasures find new homes.
Yo, Duka, let me